Hello, everybody. Welcome back to MnR University. I'm your assistant professor, Roger Bodee, joined, as always, with my best friend and other assistant professor, Michael Hamilton. Michael, do you remember the days of Starvo? Do you remember this hero? Remember this guy? Remember with Winter's Wail and Stalagmite and all these super powerful cards?
Yeah, you pulled up this video, and I immediately see Winter's Wail, Stalagmite, Crown of Seeds. Man, these are some good times. I miss some of these cards,
I'm excited for the Living Legend format. So excited that I want to watch the finals of this AGE Living Legend tournament that happened over the weekend. We could review stupid Ranger dominance and Classic Constructed some other day. Right now, I want to see some Starvo v Briar. I think, unfortunately, though, Briar's not on errata. This is still just errata, one embodiment of Earth per turn Briar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be really weird if Briar had different rules in different formats. I see why that's not the case. But this is the finals, not the semifinals?
This is the finals, yeah. And, well, now, if you just change the rules for Briar now, this is the only format she's legal in anymore, so it wouldn't be different rules for different formats. It would just be, this is how she works in Living Legend. But I don't know. Well,
she's legal in Blitz and in Tales of Aria Limited, right?
On errata her. I'm over it. Anyways.
So, in this matchup, Briar versus Starvo, I expect this to be a pretty good matchup for Starvo, honestly, with getting access to Winter's Wail against this deck that wants to play a really heavy red strategy and being a deck that's quite good at blocking and also can cover up breakpoints quite well. I think that this should be a solid matchup for Starvo. You can block the on-hits, or block the embodiment and then swing Winter's Wail. That 4 breakpoint is really hard for Briar to block without an embodiment, though. We already see in Anthony's hand over there a sigil of suffering.
Yeah, deals the 1 arcane damage.
That can help hit that 4 block breakpoint, but we'll see how this game goes.
Yeah. I'm also curious to see how much lightning Anthony put in his deck. I see, I think, a lightning surge in hand, and that would seem to indicate that, well, I guess that's usually played in Briar no matter what, but I didn't know if this was an Earth-heavy build or if he's got Ball Lightning in his deck. Because if he has Ball Lightning and he's not able to block, then this could be not the... that answers my question. There we go. Channel Mount Heroic,
yeah, looks like...
Earth card. Earth deck. Unlucky. Starvo didn't reveal turn 0. So unlucky.
I think most of the time... Well, I shouldn't say most of the time. A decent amount of the time you're not going to reveal on turn 0.
Yeah. Pitching Channel Mount Heroic. Interesting. I feel like that would be one of the most important cards in the matchup to, try to power through as fast as possible. But looks like he found a good opportunity to find that Sigil of Suffering, though. Charles would have had to pitch his last card and not be an Arsenal in order to prevent the arcane damage to make the Sigil only block for 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes sense. Just take the 1 damage there and get your Arsenal.
Yeah.
So I think it would have been worth 2 value to pitch it because you'll prevent 1 damage and you'll deal 1 extra damage, but a card for 2 damage, not where you want to be, especially when you have Crown of Seeds. So even bad cards in Arsenal are worth the full value usually.
Well, it's not only that. The Crown of Seeds is particularly good in Starvo because if you have 2 ice and an Earth card, you can pitch one of your extra ice to try to dig for that lightning card. So Crown of Seeds in particular, the hand filtering from Arsenal plays a really critical role in his game plan.
Yep.
And I think we're going to go Nimblism into Lightning Surge, so 7 and an Arcane. I'm curious to see if he's going to pitch the Enlightened Strike to swing Rosetta Thorn or Arsenal the E-Strike. Which would you prefer to see here?
Yeah, I'd imagine we'll see it pitched to swing Rosetta Thorn. It's hard to get more than 4 points of value out of having an E-Strike in your arsenal, unless it's a Channel Mount Heroic turn. But I think that playing this Lightning Surge instead of just playing the E-Strike for 7 and tucking the Nimblism, you'd rather have Lightning Surge in Arsenal than Enlightened Strike because Lightning Surge naturally has Go Again. So I think if we see the Nimblism being played instead of the E-Strike, it means that the E-Strike's going to be pitched to swing Rosetta Thorn.
Yeah. And I guess if we didn't want to swing Rosetta Thorn, we could have just swung the E-Strike for 7 and the Arcane anyways, just with the 1 card, and left the Lightning Surge in Arsenal.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, okay.
It looks like Charles takes all 7.
He's got a Starvo lined up.
damage.
It's I see a crippling crush with all the required elements. I think there's a pulse in hand. So
There must be, because there's also a Pulverize here. So, and
oh no, he's just gonna throw the 11 damage. Interesting.
Yeah, and these Briar decks aren't usually that bad at blocking. So we see a channel blocks for 4, and one more 3 block non-attack action would let him cover up the crush effect with just 2 cards.
Yeah, and we even saw a card like Sigil of Suffering earlier. So that. And there's no floating resources. Tunic's not available, so there would have been an opportunity for that card to have gotten value once again. But instead, Anthony's going to elect to not filter his hands, just block out, commit his equipment, and set up a Channel Mount Heroic, which is... I don't really know if I like that play, just because you're facing Starvo, right? You know this first Crippling Crush isn't going to be the last time he's going to threaten some big on-hit. And this one doesn't even have Dominate, so... maybe use your hand to block while you can. Maybe Arsenal the Channel Mount Heroic if it's something you're really interested in. Just block with the rest of your hand and just pass. But I imagine that setting up this Channel Mount Heroic, if Charles just has another Starvo reveal or is just going to throw another big disruptive attack, you're not going to get value out of this Channel Mount Heroic anyways, right?
Yeah, I think that this... I also don't like this line. I think that with Force of Nature, Channel, and Blue Autumn's Touch, you could easily just block out the Crippling Crush with 3 cards. Charles took a lot of damage to present that Crippling Crush. Just spending your 3 cards defensively, blocking for 11 seems really strong. And preserving your equipment is going to be huge. Like, you don't want to just throw that away.
Yeah, and I think we missed Tunic Trigger as well this turn because Briar went first. So he should be on 3, and Charles is going to tick up to 3 on his turn, I believe.
Yeah, you're right. The Tunic Trigger was missed.
Which could matter if there's like a Winner's Bite in Charles Dunn's hand. I don't think there is, but could have mattered. I think now Charles is just thinking about whether or not he wants to activate Crown of Seas to try to filter. I think there's only an ice card in his hand, but the Pulverize also looks kind of awkward, so I don't know. I also see a Starstruck, a Blizzard, but we're just gonna not reveal. Remember to tick up our Tunic and then attack with the Starstruck.
Yeah, and this is kind of the problem with taking a bunch of damage to set up your Channel Mount Heroic. Even though this Starstruck isn't Starvo activated, it doesn't have the Dominate or the +2. You're still just not going to have a big channel turn through this, and all of your armor is gone. So in the future now, you also won't have.
And now we're taking damage, but using our whole hand to block. And so the Channel Mount Heroic did nothing. So essentially we used our equipment to gain no value. It looks like he found a better block just to take the 3 using the last point on the equipment. And looks like he's just going to swing a 0 for 4 and hope to get just a little bit of value off this Channel Mount Heroic. Oh, he's got his Lightning Surge arsenal too. Okay.
Yeah, so he is going to get 2 attacks through with this Channel Mount Heroic, making it worth 6 points of value, but still, it could have just blocked for 4 with 4 plus 3 from the Autumn's Touch would have been 7 points on defense. So
yeah.
Definitely kind of punished for taking all that, or using all his equipment earlier to play this Channel Mount Heroic. And I talk about just comparing the raw amount of value it got compared to blocking with it and the Autumn's Touch. You also had to use your equipment to get this lesser value out of it, which is not where you want to be.
Yeah. Importantly here, this turn, Anthony, remember the Tunic Trigger, because if he didn't have any floating resources, it would have been Stalagmite o'clock. Blocking with Stalagmite here would have gotten him a lot of value.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this. Oh, interesting. I forgot that this was a card. Yeah, Charles is down 10 points of life at the moment. So you just go ahead and tutor up your Pulverize before blocks. Now we're going to block, and then we're just going to pitch 1 blue card, if we pitch at all. I imagine he's going to block, but... I don't know. No, Pulverize doesn't cost 14. It attacks for 14. What am I thinking about? It's just a free Pulverize.
Yeah, basically a 2-card Pulverize, because he pitched a blue in the Awakening and played the Awakening, and that paid for the Pulverize.
Free Pulverize.
So it was really interesting for Charles to use Stalagmite there. Anthony could have used Tunic to swing Rosetta Thorn, but it would have cost, it would have only been
2.
using the Tunic resource for 2 points of damage, which probably isn't, like, it's fine, but you're not getting the maximum value that you could out of a Stalagmite. Just preventing your opponent from using Tunic to attack for 2 is not exactly where you want to be with the shield.
Yeah. Awakening Pulverize is kind of messed up now because Charles was down, like he was behind on tempo. He was in a fine spot, but he was slightly behind. And then that play happened, and it's just like, oh, he's got all the momentum in the world again in this match.
Yeah, and I think it's especially punishing for Anthony here, where he used all of his armor very early in the game to kind of build that advantage, and then just gets, like, again, punished for using his armor because the life totals were down by, or he was up by 10 full points because he had used his armor to block earlier.
So I guess this is kind of a good learning point then for Living Legend in general. So you especially are disincentivized from using your armor early because the armor sits there as life that is available to you, but doesn't count as the life difference for awakening effects. So you just want to try to take damage and keep your life total as like close to parity as possible against Starvo, because you can find yourself what seems to be in a comfortable position that could just turn around in an instant because of awakening. So I guess quite literally because of an instant.
Yeah, and Briar also is not great at blocking, so
yeah, for sure. Charles here, unlucky, has not found a single Starvo activation. Just how unlucky can you get? Instead, you just got to swing your Pulverize, but pitch 3 cards for it and your Tunic resource.
Yeah, but that's fine. That's still one of the best things Starvo can be doing with his action point if he doesn't have Starvo trigger.
This is quite
good. And we see multiple 2 blocks again for Anthony.
We're just taking 14. 14 o'clock.
I think it depends on his arsenal, but the hand of Bramble Spike with an Bramble Spark with an Earth Blue, it seems hard. And then I think there's a Coax, so it seems hard for this hand to be worth more than, or worth enough on defense to be worth blocking here.
Yeah, and you could even do things like send the E-Strike, bottom a card, and draw a card with Snapdragon Scalers if you're not interested in the Coax the Commotion, because then you're still swinging for 4-go again through the Pulverize effect. Because of the, because it goes down to base 1 from the Pulverize, but back up 3 from the Bramble Spark. And then I guess plus the extra point of arcane damage. So I really would have I think that's the play I'm leaning towards, is just shrug your shoulders, say, yep, you got me, go to 13, and I guess try to play on from there. But Anthony disagrees.
Looks like his arsenal might be another non-attack. No.
Get Embodiment of Lightning? No, it's another Coax of Commotion. So it's 2 arcane and then 3 physical. Yeah, I really don't like this line, especially I just feel like the E-Strike drawing filtering the other Coax Commotion just to try and draw into a second non-attack action then or there for something. Because then if you drew a Nimblism or something like that off the top, you get to play that, get your Embodiment of Lightning, and then play your Coax Commotion from Arsenal for its full 4 value. But here, you're committing your Snapdragons here and then swinging Rosetta Thorn and still ending your turn with a Coax Commotion in Arsenal. It just, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, so Anthony doesn't end up using a Snapdragons here and gives up the 4 damage on Rosetta Thorn. But I agree. I don't think this line looked the best. I think something to do with E-Strike would have been, or something with attacking with E-Strike probably would have been better. We could even have seen block with the Coax for 2, so you take 1 extra damage, but then you go Bramble Spark Fused, and then play the E-Strike, putting the blue Earth card on the bottom just for 7. So it would be 10 damage minus 4 from the Pulverize would be 6 plus an Arcane, would have been 7 total damage, and you would have taken 1 more damage. So compared to the blocking with the E-Strike, and I think with blocking with the E-Strike, he attacked for 6. So I guess it's pretty similar.
Yeah. We got a Starvo reveal, first Pulse reveal of the game. So this is going to be a Spinal Crush for 10 Dominate.
11.
11 Dominate. I forget it's plus 2. Oh my god. I thought it was only plus 1. What a dumb hero.
Yeah, and especially here not having, well, I guess he doesn't have a 4 block anyway, but if he had all of his armor up and a 4 block, he could block out the Spinal Crush and not get got by it, I guess. Or block out the crush effect.
Yeah. So here, we're just going to attack with the commotion from Arsenal. I can't imagine you take a quicken token, so I don't know what modes you'd really choose off of it.
When your Starvo opponent keeps 4 cards, there's a reasonable chance they have the Starvo reveal anyway. So I think it isn't horrible to take the quicken token here, where they're going to have go again anyway, probably.
That's fair.
It looks like this time he does not have the go again.
No.
For the Starvo reveal.
No third resource available, so not representing Pummel. Not that Starvo even needs to play Pummel anyways, but...
And Anthony thinking about keeping Channel here, I think it would be a pretty big mistake to keep Channel here. I think when you're down by this much, you just want to take it. Yeah. Oh, that's not a Channel, that's a Ball Lightning. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's a Thor Surge, so no Channel. So it's just block for 6, take 3, go to 6. Mm-mm. It's Ball Lightning o'clock, baby. Wait, what? Why aren't we leading with Ball Lightning?
So Ball Lightning's plus ability only works on...
Elemental or Lightning or Elemental cards?
Yes. Huh. So...
I'm so rusty with this.
There's not really a reason to use it before your physical attacks.
It doesn't really do anything then, because it doesn't work with Ravenous Rabble either. Plunder Run. Where's that card been this whole game? Remember Plunder Run?
I do. It's definitely one of the strongest cards in Briar.
Yeah. You have to be terrified here with Charles just shrugging his shoulders saying, yep, no blocks, yep, no blocks, yep, no blocks.
Yeah, and it looks like he has a Starvo activation plus Awakening, so Awakening's a little bit awkward here, but you could still do something like reveal your 3 cards to Starvo, cast Awakening. Is the attack that you get from Awakening, does it have to be less than or equal to the number of surges you have? I can't remember how the card actually works.
Me neither.
It's been a while.
So I just looked it up. Yeah, you can only get attacks equal to or less than the number of seismic surges you control. So Awakening really doesn't do much of anything here.
Yeah, it's just the blue. So a hand of 4 blues is a little bit awkward, but depending on what's in Charles' arsenal here.
And we also could potentially still see a filter with Crown of Seeds or something like that to try to dig for an extra card. That's pretty risky at this point.
Yeah, though this Awakening is not really doing anything in hand, so it can't block. He could just Crown with it.
Looks like he's just going to block for 3 with Stalagmite, not giving Anthony the opportunity to even swing the Rosetta Thorn for 2. That would have been pumped to 3 damage, though, right? From the Ball Lightning? Or is it only cards?
I think Ball Lightning is specifically attack action cards.
Yeah, attack action cards. Well, Lightning or Elemental action cards.
Sure, but it doesn't work on the...
Yeah, so it's like it actually works with that arcane damage spell then from that format. The one that you pay, it costs 1, you Lightning Fuse, it deals 4 arcane damage. Or 3 arcane... deals some amount of arcane damage, while Lightning would boost that.
Well...
Oh no, it only
would,
the combat chain.
You have to play it without breaking the combat chain. Yeah. So if you Spellbound Creepers, it would work.
Legend of Briar was so complicated, man. This set was like so good because it was so complicated, but I see why it caused a lot of problems for like a number of years. Yeah, Sigil of Suffering not really representing much, especially with Tuna counter up now. So the 7 dominates, pretty threatening. Winner's Bite is threatening to strip another card from your hand.
So with the Tunic, you can kind of use that to pay for the Winner's Bite.
That's true. So it looks like Lightning Surge from Arsenal, and then we're just going to swing a Frosty Hammer with the Winner's Bite, and then Arsenal yet another Lightning Surge. So pretty clean play.
Yep. And this game does kind of feel over already. Briar has no equipment, is at 2 life, and I just don't know how Anthony would get back into this game.
Couldn't tell you. And if we think back to a few turns ago now I'm just staring at the Snapdragon Scalers, unused, sitting there. And I was thinking at like the life total thresholds that it wasn't guaranteed that you'd even get the opportunity to activate them again, like in a meaningful way. So sometimes it's just best to like around the 15 to 20 life total point range. You know it's going to be more and more difficult for you to keep 4 to 5 card hands potentially. That's the kind of the range where I start like trying to cash in my equipment for value if I can.
Yeah, the Pulverize turn, the turn after he got pulverized when he attacked with the Coax Commotion, he definitely could have used Snapdragons there and swung Rosetta Thorn for 2 and 2.
Yeah. Looks like Lightning Search Arsenal. We knew about that one. There was no Starvo reveal. Looks like he's missing an ice card, so just gonna attack with a friendly old red Autumn's Touch for 7. Which, when your opponent's at 1 and is Briar with 1,000,002 blocks, is quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, and there's a 0 block in hand actually here with the Garganian Tomb.
Oh, but he had the Summer thing to get an Embodiment of Earth token. Okay.
Yeah, it still took him 3 cards to block out the 7 damage.
Yeah, just the raw vanilla 7 damage. Ooh, a Plunder Run. That's a good arsenal.
Yeah.
Starbo reveal. Evergreen for 7. Dominate. GG's, Briar. That game was closer than I thought it would be. I feel like there are worlds where Anthony actually does win that game.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake was the taking a bunch of damage to play the channel.
Yeah.
And taking damage and using armor to play the channel when you didn't have a good follow-up for it. I think sometimes you can just like stumble into good channel turns and you should take those. But like, I think it was a really big risk to use all of his armor for it. And it definitely didn't pay off in this game.
Yeah. And Starvo kind of looking more fair than I remember him being as well. With he didn't reveal that much first cycle. Things that he never had the Rainbow Oakenold setup or anything like that. He had that dominated Spinal Crush, but nothing else. No dominated Starstrucks. Not just kind of through the normal regular old Bravo big dumb attacks and just kind of let his elemental cards just kind of take over in the end game.
Yeah, we definitely didn't get to second cycle in that game. So some of those Starvo activations were just like first cycle. We just didn't see that many in the first few turns of the game. Yeah. It was kind of after the Awakening shuffle that it seemed like they started coming in.
True. Well, any final thoughts?
I am excited for the Living Legend format. I think it'll be kind of I don't know if surprising is the right word. It's interesting that like how the format will shake out. I think Starvo is probably the best. That would be my first guess, but I could see arguments for Chain. I don't even think there was a single copy of Chain registered in this tournament. Prism gets all of her stuff back and is a natural counter to Starvo, and then Chain is full powered. I already said Chain. Chain's full powered though. And then I think it's an interesting format, and I'm excited to see what happens at the Battle Hardened at Worlds. Yeah.
Well, next time you're revealing a Lightning, Earth, and Ice card to your Starvo activation, always remember, mind your manners. Thanks for watching.